is up, ladies and gentlemen? But most of all, you ladies out there, thanks for clicking on another episode of Break the Silence. I am your host, Cyborg, and I'm pumped to be here right now. We got an awesome video for you today. Spent the weekend out a little bit, so didn't send out my draft reaction. Got to spend some time with your mom. Oh wait, did I say your mom? I meant my mom, or maybe I didn't. I wouldn't worry about it if I were you. But anyway, we're going to talk about the 5 most entertaining places that I think Kevin Durant could end up. And I think this is going to be a lot of fun because I've seen people say where Kevin Durant should go. But this topic today is not about where I think he'll go. It's about where it would be really fun for him to go and really entertaining as an NBA fan for him to go. So let's get straight into it. But first off, need to take a second. Please take a second to like and subscribe to the channel. We're growing at a rapid pace and we're going to keep growing because I'm grinding all off season and I'd love for you guys to come along for the ride. I've been going back and forth with some people in the comment sections about Steph video, Kyrie video, the Celtics losing the finals, all those sorts of things. And I've really been enjoying it. So please take a second to hit that subscribe button, keep watching the content, and let me hear some of your opinions because, you know, we're a smaller channel at the moment. It'll get bigger, but, you know, that kind of makes it more personable and we can talk with each other. Should be a lot of fun. But let's get straight in to the topic at hand. The 5 most entertaining places for Kevin Durant to go. And I want to start with 2 honorable mentions because part of the thought process of this video is there any trade package that these teams could put together for them to get? So the reason that kind of made me think about this, Dame Lillard, one of my favorite players, posted a picture of Kevin Durant in a Portland Trailblazers jersey. And so I wrote down Portland here as an honorable mention. But Portland, when I looked through it, does not really have the trade assets to get someone like a Kevin Durant. It's going to take a massive package.
What do you mean by that?
And I don't think that Portland has something like that. Their assets aren't much. They just traded for Jeremy Grant. You got Josh Hart, like guys like that. I don't know that they have anything desirable enough to make the Nets do that deal. And then the Dallas Mavericks would be really entertaining to see Luka and Kevin Durant on the same floor. They just traded for Christian Wood, though. So I would highly doubt that anything comes of that. But the first team I wrote down, and this is no homerism at all. Certainly not me. I wouldn't be a homer. The Celtics. Kevin Durant to Boston would be awesome. And not only because Kevin Durant is awesome and the Celtics would be really good and I'd love watching it. But do you all have seen the meme every time Kevin Durant loses a playoff series of him in the other team's jersey that he lost to saying my next chapter? Well, when Kevin Durant lost to the Warriors, the Warriors went to lose the finals and that's when Kevin Durant joined. So if the Celtics beat Kevin Durant and then he decided to join, the memes would be incredible. And the Celtics kind of have somewhat of a trade package. Now, I see a lot of Celtics, because obviously I'm on a lot of Celtics social media saying, no, you can't trade Jaylen Brown. If you got a chance at Kevin Durant, you're trading Jaylen Brown. You might have to give up Pritchard, Nesmith, Grant Williams, and some picks. But if you could roll out a lineup with Kevin Durant, Jason Tatum, Rob Williams, Marcus Smart, holy smokes. I would be so stoked for every game next year. So that would be a really entertaining one. Let's move on to number 2. Another team that I think it would be so heavily reported and very entertaining if Kevin Durant got traded to the Los Angeles Lakers. And you might say, Cyborg, they don't have a lot of assets. They have Anthony Davis, and you might say he's untouchable. But for me, if Brooklyn called up and said, hey, if you give us AD and a first-round pick and Russell Westbrook's expiring contract, we'll give you Kevin Durant, I would do that if I'm the Lakers. Like, seeing LeBron and KD on the court together would be unbelievable, and I think we'd all love to watch that as basketball fans. The third one is potentially the one I would be most excited for. Kevin Durant to the Memphis Grizzlies. And you might say at first, Memphis has a basketball team? No, Memphis has an awesome young basketball team that has a massive rivalry with the Golden State Warriors, where Kevin Durant played. So if you could somehow get Kevin Durant to the Memphis Grizzlies to play against the Golden State Warriors in a big playoff series, oh my goodness, get your popcorn ready. That would be an experience. Now, Memphis, their trade assets are interesting. They got a lot of young guys. You would have to come off of, I don't know if you would come off of Jaren Jackson, but maybe at least like a Desmond Bane. Build some sort of package around Desmond Bane, who's a stud of a young player if you haven't watched the Grizzlies much this year. The fourth one that I have not heard anyone mention, but what if the New Orleans Pelicans traded Brandon Ingram for Kevin Durant? The two guys that were compared to, or Brandon Ingram was always compared to Kevin Durant. Could you imagine how entertaining it would be to have CJ McCollum, Zion Williamson, and Kevin Durant on the same floor? Holy smokes, as a basketball fan, that would be unbelievable to watch. And the final team on my list, and this is not one that I would want to happen at all. In fact, I'd be very miserable if it happened. But there's one team in the NBA, not one team, but this team has so many assets that are young and tradable and has a squad that just won a title. The Golden State Warriors. And how funny would it be to see Kevin Durant return to the Golden State Warriors? And the thing about Golden State is they have a trade package available. They have 3 young players that are highly coveted. They have Wiseman, who we haven't got to see play yet, but he was the 2nd overall pick, Moses Moody, and Jonathan Kuminga. You also have guys like Gary Payton, Jordan Poole, and Andrew Wiggins. If you could certainly create some sort of trade package and all of that to where you could somehow bring Kevin Durant back to that squad. Now, highly unlikely. Obviously, the point of this video is not to say what's going to happen. It's all stuff that just would be crazy entertaining and go wild on social media. But those are my thoughts as far as like, I would love to see some of these trades happen. I think as NBA fans and as sports fans in general, sports are just more fun when there's like chaos and movement everywhere. So, to see like an Anthony Davis for KD swap, could you imagine tuning in next year and seeing LeBron and KD on the same court? It would just be unbelievable. Or Kevin Durant with Zion, a healthy Zion and CJ McCollum. I would love to tune in for basketball games like that. That's all we got for you for today. Just wanted to get in here and talk about that. Some of your thoughts, let me know in the comments below. Where would you like to see KD go? Where do you think he might go? My guess, honestly, would be that he just ends up staying in Brooklyn. Unfortunately, the Knicks might be an interesting spot. I'm not a Knicks fan by any stretch, and they have stunk for so long, so I doubt that happens. But where do you think Kevin Durant goes? Do you think he just stays with the Nets? Do you think that all this is just a plea to keep Kyrie to stay? I think it very well might be. But again, take a second, like and subscribe to the channel. We got more great content we're going to be pushing out. A lot of NBA topics that I have written down and a lot of thoughts in my head that I'm excited to get into. Some of them I'm just waiting for the channel to grow a little bit because, the breaking news kind of stuff is best for growth as far as, reacting to the finals games and such. But we're also going to start getting into the NFL. I might touch on the UFC a little bit because I'm a big UFC fan, and potentially some other sports. We'll see what happens. But thank you for watching. Thanks for taking the time out of your day. Cyborg out.